Hey everybody, Brad with Full Spectrum Survival. So I was out here on our property today collecting some usnea. Usnea has a lot of root in ancient and traditional Chinese medicine. The National Institute of Health and other universities around the earth have proclaimed its natural antibiotic, antimicrobial, and antiviral properties. I suggest you guys see if it's in your area. Some of you might know it as old man's beard. Start collecting it if you have it. Kelley and I are making a tincture out of it, and we're going to use it here in our family. But the reason for today's video is I wanted to talk to you guys about an email I got from a friend in our community named Brian. Brian is going on an adventure of his own and looking to adopt the van living or tiny dwelling living lifestyle. And he sent me an email and he said, do you think it's better because of the climate of our world, because of the environment that we live in, do you think it's better to have gear which is going to help you in the event of a disaster, or to have a minimalist and easily mobile lifestyle? And you know, that's a tough one. That's one that I have thought about myself, that I have considered for our family, that Kelley and I have really spent a lot of time on, because as you guys know, we moved from the city lifestyle out into the middle of nowhere in Alabama, and we adopted a very minimalist lifestyle. Throughout my life, I've kind of went through these periods of enjoyment and really a love and a passion for the outdoors, to sort of a gear hoarding period, and then a focus primarily on skills. And what that has kind of done is it's transitioned me from my enjoyment of the outdoors, which was kind of gear oriented, to really gear hoarding, which is, you know, you got to have all the newest, the best gear, most expensive, you know, just tubs and tubs of it. And then as I transitioned into focusing on more skills, it really took me away from that gear side of things and towards a minimalist lifestyle. And so instead of having, you know, more tents than I could use, I would use a tent. If I didn't like something about it and wanted to try a new one, I would find a home for that tent first and move into another one. Same thing with sleeping systems, firearms, knives, things like that. And so although I still adopt the adage of 2 is 1 and 1 is none, and I still have more gear than just one of a thing, I don't have tubs and tubs of gear anymore. As I transitioned into skills, I started looking back at our history, and throughout history, just because of the nature of you know, survivalism throughout the 1800s, the 1900s, early 1900s, you would see that because things weren't available, the people had to make do. That's why they were the true survivalists, because you didn't have access to a store. In many cases, you didn't have access. You couldn't replace your axe if it broke. And so they developed the skills that would replace those items. Of course, the skills came first throughout history, long distant history. So I asked Brian if I could make a video about it rather than just reply to him in email. And my opinion, and I want to get your guys' thoughts on this, your consensus, my opinion, of course, is that your skill should trump your gear. And so if you are having that same thought, if you're thinking about, I don't want to minimize because what if I need this gear? Go through that, go through all of your tubs, all of your backpacks, all of your go bags, and say what here can be replaced by skill, and then work on that. And so, you know, that allowed me and Kelley to kind of let go of a lot of that stress, that Tiotwalki, SHTF, what if the world ends stress of needing and being a slave to your gear. So we focus instead monthly, annually on those skills. And it's the little things like, installing our wood stove in our tiny home. That allows me to have fire practice inside every single day. So I'm sitting in there creating my feather sticks, gathering my tinder outside, setting up the fire inside just like I would at a campsite outside. And I'm allowed to do this, I'm able to do this every day as part of my life. And so that sort of replaces, or at least hones, that bit of skill for me and allows me to, practice it every day. Go through your gear, go through your backpacks, through your tubs, and see what skills can be replaced, or what gear can be replaced by skills. So my suggestion to Brian, and let me know if you guys think the same, is that you can let go of that gear as long as you practice with skills. And you can don't let that gear stop you from getting to a better lifestyle. Because let me tell you guys, the time is now to make changes. The time is now to get out of the cities if you can. I mean, my wife and I, we looked at what we had spent on a year renting a home. And what we spent on a year renting a home, we could have bought a full piece of land, installed, had a tiny home delivered, and been living there just for 1 year. And you would have had a piece of land paid for the rest of your life. And that was kind of our wake-up call. So let me know what your guys' thoughts are. Do you think that that's a good idea for Brian to work on those skills and see what he can replace in gear with skill? He might already have all of those skills down and not even need to think about it and just say, okay, I can relieve myself of this gear. So what are your guys' thoughts? Have you been down a similar transition as me from passion to gear hoarding to minimalist? And where are you at today? And where do you need to be? As always, from Kelley and I to you and yours, stay safe, remain vigilant, and keep watch.